Alright, good morning everyone, and welcome to twitch.tv/HobbyBoxBurns. I am Joe Burns, HobbyBoxBurns, and we are here and ready to jump into some more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker this morning. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. It took me a while to figure out what day it was today. But yes, it is Sunday. I think at most parts of the world. Maybe like in Japan, it's already Monday morning. I don't know. I don't know how time works in mysterious ways. Although I think we fully understand it. Looks like Xfinity also isn't sure whether it wants to be up or down right now. So we got a little bit of bitrate issues here, but hopefully nothing that lasts for too long. So yeah. Decided we'd sit here and look at the Thaliac fountain to start with. It was snowing even a little bit. That was kind of nice. Snowed here last night a little bit too, so that was splendid. Didn't have to drive in it last night, so that's good. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll watch the bitrate here a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, so last night, wasn't able to get into the stream, really. Or wasn't able, well, yeah, obviously wasn't able to get in the stream. Wasn't able to get into the game either. Basically, so at the highest it was like 6,700. But then for a while, like, I couldn't even get back into the queue. I was mostly just checking it out of curiosity to see, like, what it was. I didn't even sit in the queue because I was just like, I'll do other things with my night. So yeah, last night then, otherwise all I did was... Oh, I played that Bloodshore game we were talking about yesterday. I played that a little bit. And finished. I basically went through... I'd already beaten it a couple of times, just checking some of the different branching paths. So then last night went through with a guide and finished it up to get the Platinum Trophy in it, because those games are relatively easy enough Platinums after you've played through it a couple of times, because you can skip through the scenes that you've already seen. So it's really just skipping through to the next choice, skipping through the next choice. It gets a little redundant because there's like a slight change in one of the scenes, and you have to watch the whole thing because of that. Otherwise, it was a great Saturday. Can't complain. And yeah, so this should be fun today. We'll play for about 4 hours here this morning. Going to most likely not stream tonight. I know that was the original talk, but it's one of those things where I'd rather give an open-ended ending to what I got going on during the day today, just in case things take a little bit longer or whatever. So I think that's going to be best. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be streaming most of the day tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Central, or thereabouts. My streams are always, give or take, usually take about 15 to 30 minutes. Just depending. I try to be on a schedule, but it's hard with just the randomness in a day that you can't control, right? And also, I do tend to... It's not that I have a problem getting up anymore in the mornings, because I really don't. My problem is focusing on the task at hand in the mornings and not getting distracted and just, like, mind wandering off or going down an internet rabbit hole in the morning. Like, this morning, I spent, like, 10-15 minutes reading some of the different updates about the game. Apparently, one of the new... bugs that they have slated to try to fix is people, when they finish A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, anything that have credit sequences, as well as long periods of time before and after the credit sequences that are like just like videos or CG, are getting timed out because they're not doing anything for 30 minutes. Which, it makes sense, and I shouldn't laugh, because that would suck if I'm sitting there, just finished Shadowbringers, I'm like, yeah, we're about to get into the patch content, then we're going to be caught up to Endwalker, and then, you know, just logs you out to inactivity, like when you're like 3/4 of the way through the credits, Or you just get into the post-credit sequence, and then it's just like, bwomp. You're like, no. So, that is unfortunate. Alright. So it looks like the bitrate is maybe stabilizing a little bit. Let's, before we go on to the quest then, just as we try to let this, settle itself a bit, we'll go over to the market here. I wanted to take a look and see if there's anything we could, anything that, we could pick up with, gemstones or anything like that that would be useful here. Bald Swiss. Could get a 4th retainer. It's a trap. It's a trap. Oh, okay. This guy does not have gemstones available yet. All right. Well, that changes that idea then. Trying to think. I believe there was a gemstone trader in Labyrinthos. Yes, there was. Just want to see if anything's unlocked. So I haven't had a chance to play the game since we streamed yesterday, so didn't get Red Mage to 81. Oh, one of the other issues that I did see, and this will be good based upon the conversations we had yesterday. They said that Yoshi P apparently earlier on in one of the live letters... There we go. Okay, no. So it's just a couple of mats is all we've got. Okay. Oh, we think we can get there in time. We'll try. Swap over to... Whoop, not Dragoon 2, Red Mage. So basically they were saying that he originally had said that you could easily go through the MSQ and just level to 90 just with that. But apparently with some changes they made in QA, that's not necessarily the case anymore. And that some of the calculations that they left out, basically they left a few things out of their calculations after the changes, which affects that. Let's see here. There we go. And so they said that people still shouldn't have a problem if you end up going through and doing some side stuff along the way a little bit, like your ether current quests and stuff like that. If you do those, you should still have enough on one class to level it up. So yesterday I know I was talking about how should be able to get a decent amount of levels. Let's see here. Let's do this. And then, there we go. And there we go. And jump in again and do another combo. Oh, my math was wrong. Okay. Well, my math was wrong. Which fits the conversation we were having before, too, I guess. So just be a little more mindful of that than I thought. If you still do some side things, it probably shouldn't be a problem, but... Spin again. Back. Oh, he's dead. I don't want to waste my my big spells. Still struggling to find so I think I'm still struggling to find what my go-to rotation is with Red Mage. Like it's not like that it feels bad. It's just before. So the biggest change with Red Mage, as far as like, well, other than all the values changed, right? So how much like Jolt 2, Verero, and Verthunder are, like all of that changed, and it just changes the math a bit. But then again, how much you need in order to do your melee combo changed as well. So the math is one thing that throws it off a bit. But then the acceleration change is one of the biggest things. That just... Because before, what acceleration was, is you would proc it. It would last, I believe, 20 or 30 seconds. And basically what it would do is every time you cast Verero or Verthunder, you would auto-proc Verstone or Verfire. Now what it is that it ensures that it's an insta-cast of Verero or Verthunder, and that it will auto-proc Verfire or Verstone. But that's just a one-time thing. So before, if you're doing your rotation of going to Verero, then Verstone, Verthunder with your dual cast, and then Verfire, you could get around that rotation, like, to get basically Verstone and Verfire procced 3, maybe 4 times, if you're really efficient. And now you're only getting that to proc once. So it feels like Verstone and Verfire just don't proc as often as they used to. And so then it feels like, because it always was a waste before if you did Jolt 2. Now granted, maybe that means I just need to work in Swift Cast a couple more times. But that's... Oh, no, there we go. I mean, that's a minute. So it's like you have to balance every half the time, do acceleration to proc that, and hopefully get around here. If that doesn't proc, maybe do Jolt 2 once, and then do a Swift Cast if you don't proc again. So it's just another variable that I gotta work into how my brain used to work with it. Is all. Okay, so we need to... yeah, okay. Everything's settled itself now, so that is good. So we will get back up to old Charlie in here. Light starting to come out. Yeah, so like a little dusting of snow, which I don't think it's supposed to get... Oh, it might get warm enough to melt today then. It's supposed to be like lots of wind though today. Not that I'm planning on being outside much, because I'm not, but... Archon's design. There's got to be a jumping puzzle in here too, right? One would think. I still haven't done Kugane yet. I have not made it very far on that jumping puzzle. One of these days. Looking to kill some time in game, we'll do that. Alright. Estinian returned not long after we departed for the studio. A shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholarch. Or perhaps not. Having spent most of the time in Thavner, I've yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Charlian. Even finding my way to the Annex proved a challenge. I say, you'd better not let your guard down around Key. One small favor becomes another, then another, and before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world in search of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics. And as the Scholarch said, it could also lead to interesting discoveries. It seems I've done an adequate job of relaying Scholarch Monteshane's lecture to Raha. Given his experiences in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the Studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa Lominsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way of the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Alright. Right, I can do that. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't seem like enough. Though I guess scales would lay flat pretty well. You maybe could get 75 per box. So really not enough if you're trying to, arm everybody in the beast tribes or whatever with them. Phew, I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain, though. Virtra and the alchemists of the Great Work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with their utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await for word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn, I can feel it. To Limsa Lominsa. Yeah! Go dance around an Aetheryte for a while. Remember, we have to consider hardware limitations and how many people can be on screen at once. That's true. If you learn aught of interest, be sure to let me know. In the meantime, I will do what I can to aid in our cause, though I fear that will be precious little given the circumstances. Yeah, Kryl and Limsa Lominsa would just crater everything. How you doing this morning, Baby Smell? Been able to make more progress in the game since yesterday? What level are you? More realistically, lore-wise, they couldn't possibly have produced too many in a short time. True. Still producing them as we speak. Well, that is true, too. Well, and to be honest, if Vritra takes off too many scales, it will have negative consequences for him. Alright, Limsa Lominsa. Now, I could teleport there, but I'm going to be a cheapskate and take a boat. We'll see what the difference is. It might actually affect his health, yeah. And, I mean, they were pumping out a lot of those. I mean, to get those 3 crates worth is probably something to be said. Remember when you let us in? Bit further in the story compared to me? Okay. The shape of the port keeps any larger ships from coming in, which means we have to use smaller vessels. Of course, this means more trips and time wasted unpacking and reloading. It's really quite a hassle. Got all these shallow ports here, huh? Sorry. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm curious what this is down here, if we can go in here or not. Oh, what's this up here? What is this I spy? Babeth Ironheart, huh? Beg pardon, good madam. I could scarce help but notice that sightseeing log on your person. You wouldn't happen to be the adventurer my niece wrote about, would you? I was wondering why we haven't seen any sightseeing points. Aha, so it is you. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I am Babeth Ironheart, Millis' aunt and seasoned explorer. Be a dear and hand me that log of yours. Milith told me all about how she helped you embark on explorations of your own, so it's only right that I share with you some wisdom of my own. Let me see here. Oh, I can't forget to mention that, and done. Alright, now we're going to have some sightseeing points here. You should be all set, dear. I've jotted down everything I've heard about the most remarkable vistas the realm has to offer. Of course, a few notes I've shared are not more than rumors, some describing locales so fantastical that I can barely believe they exist. But as I always say, the true joy of exploration lies not in the destination, but in the journey. So go forth, dear, and see what sort of journey these hints take you on. That sightseeing log of yours won't fill itself, you know. Huzzah! Endwalker entries have been added to your sightseeing log. Use your wits in the notes provided. Gazing out upon the ocean like this sets my adventurous spirit ablaze. Myriad wonders are simply waiting to be discovered. Why not venture forth and find them? Oh, we will. So you'd think that people would only concern themselves with the nutritional value of food over taste, would be more pragmatic about how they lay out their city. Yeah, but architecture says something about the culture of a people, right? Hey, Martha, how you doing this morning? Actually, it's, what? Aw, we can't get in there. I thought that was going to open. I thought we could get up to the top there. Or actually, it's what, like, I was going to say, afternoon there. Hopefully it has been a good Sunday. Can we jump onto the ship? Nope. Thinking of pizza? Oh, pizza. Pizza's so good. Food also does say a lot about a people's culture. Well, yeah, and their lack of caring about it, right? That ship you see before you will sail to Limsalum, sir, if you're so inclined, that is, thinking of hopping aboard. Yeah. Save ourselves 400 gil. That could buy us a lot of pizza. Has been a hot minute since I've had pizza. A couple weeks. Never met a person who doesn't like pizza. I had one friend that was gluten intolerant and lactose intolerant, so they weren't a fan. They would every now and again get like a pizza with gluten-free crust and no cheese. But it's like no cheese. That's like, yeah. I've never tried it before. Vegan cheese is delicious. I've heard lots of people like it. There is actually, I think it was either the United States first or the world's first vegan butcher shop, which is such a funny phrase. in Minneapolis. I remember seeing it when I was still living in Texas on some Food Network thing. Create cheese from potatoes? I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's a starch, right? Alright. I'm just curious. I can't remember what all these are. This one is, Dancer. Okay, yep. This one over here must be the, Sage? Yeah. Sage's Path. Bookworm's Attire. Stone Gold Millprees. They're little ones. They're just a little guy. What's the point of vegan food that tries to look like normal people food? Is it to convert people into veganism, or do vegans secretly have penis envy with food? So I think because a lot of people that are vegan started off as not, obviously, and so it's to harken back that little bit of normalcy. I'm thinking for whichever reason they're like vegan. Food is food. There is no normal. That is true too. And if you like watch the like Strange Foods show, some of the things he eats there. Oof. I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and the Sultana, 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Let's make it a 4th. Meat was a luxury, so it's more normal not to eat meat. That's true. At some different points in different parts of the world, you just couldn't get it. Americans are a little bit more lucky in that sense. My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. 'Twas only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts, with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Radzatan has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. My voice for her is terrible right now. And it is you, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. It's so bad, I'm sorry. No, it's great, I don't think so. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart. Garlemald. Aha! This is how we get to Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. The Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they serve the Telephoroi's every whim without question. They too are victims, It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telephoroi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands, so you think. I'd wager the Spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Y'shtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the Spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it's not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down, along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honor and glory. There we go, that works. For the people of Garlemald feels weird. Couldn't have put it better myself. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Well, I didn't have a choice. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct, since all three options I had to choose were to do it. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Rabban and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telephoroi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go. Safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. I knew we were going to be going to Garlemald shortly. Dumplings always will look like dumplings, whatever you put in them. I mean, that is true, too. Vegans aren't normal, sorry. Eating meat is the only aristocrats that should emerge on the rock in space. Everything else is meaningless. See if you can get in the game. Yeah, good luck for that. Although this morning it shouldn't be too bad. I know the queue was like 18 people when I logged in. Yeah. So Square Enix put that out. Everybody gets 7 days added to their sub, and they might add more. They said depending upon how launch actually goes. But yeah, the thing that's... So I find it kind of interesting, like, one of the better chilies I think I've ever made was a vegetarian chili. Now, granted, for me, when I put meat in it with the same recipe, I liked it even more, but because of the fact that you have to like from a cooking perspective, you have to think outside the box and find ways to duplicate things without like using meat, you know. So like it was an interesting experiment to say, okay, we need something more substantial. So what are the things that we put into this, you know, to make it feel meaty? Because, you know, for it to be chili, you still need something like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I have some friends that are vegetarian. And I can understand the reasonings for why they chose to be vegetarian. One is for health. Like, basically for him, I think it was like most men in his family, or I think all the men in his family didn't live like past 55 because of heart stuff. Or 50, I think it was. And so, like, he went vegetarian for the health benefits because that's what one of his doctors said. And he's in his mid-50s now, so yeah. I mean, everybody has their reasons. Where the heck do we need to go? Oh, the Alamigan Quarter. Okay. So they're just, let's see. They're just having us teleport everywhere. That's not too bad. Martha, have you been able to play any more of the game, or did you not get a chance to today or yesterday at all? Why? Oh, I gotta change my class back. That's why. I was gonna say, why is it red? A bit? Started with the bit on the other island? Gotcha. Couldn't pass the opportunity to hang out with the boys. I mean, the Thavnarian section definitely has more action than the Sharlayan section. Yeah, the stuff they're doing with Estinian, I mean, I've always liked Estinian, but, you know, he just, I don't know, was just Mr. Brooding thing, and, you know, he had some good jokes and stuff with Elfino, and they played off each other pretty well, but it's one of those things where some of the things they've done humor-wise with him have been great so far. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to take a quick break before we chat with Robon here. And, yeah, we will be back momentarily. Alright, we are back. It definitely helps people to like his character more for those who don't care for characters who are serious and brooding all the time. Fully support the idea of having fun with characters with silly things from time to time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to do that because you have to give them a way to show, like, because people, in general, have different sides to themselves, right? So you have to find ways to creatively have the characters show those different sides. I must quiz Thancred and Orianger on the conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? They can be a bit sensitive at times. I'll admit, this is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest, the best of the best, the warrior of light and, well, me. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about, marching into Garlemald. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's being selected for the Ilsabard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? I mean, so I will guess Fordola, for sure. Ah, fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he'd go like a Gallicat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he will always be there when you need him. Probably. If Emmerich asks after me, say I'm getting on fire. Getting on fire. Getting on fine, and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the cord. Alright, Rob on. Ah, the Wanderer's return. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. So, Lucia will also go. So, Lucia, Fordola, I can't really think of anybody from, like, Gridania that's important. Yugiri, I would guess, would be going, maybe? We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Hey! That makes sense. Word of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange. I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Telephoroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varys and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. We will deliver your people from harm in your stead. I like that better than being more, like, self-effacing. For what it's worth, you have my gratitude. You and your comrades have the strength and courage to deliver my countrymen. I am certain of it. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? I mean, we know the way... Oh, the inside Garlemald. Okay, I thought he meant, like, into, like, the palace. It's like, well, we've been in there multiple times, Roban. Come on. You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two. And if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Getting a new chest gear. So I think I'm gonna hold on to. I'm gonna hold on to that. I like to like balance it out, space it out. We don't need every 5 increments of item level of gear, I don't think. The only thing we didn't take was the foot stuff. That sounds weird, the foot stuff. That's a whole other area of Twitch. So I think we're good for now. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It would seem she too continues to wage war against the Telephoroi. That makes sense. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varys' murder, though I'm rather less recognizable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. So that's Gaius Baelsar. The horrors he must have seen. Many of his making I do not doubt. That is true. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsebardian front. I suppose it's easy for some people to forget there are civilians in Garlemald, too, when the only Imperials they've ever known are soldiers. Once we've seen the contingent on its way, I will return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. One arm and all. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Maxima! Best of the best. Better than all the rest. Maxima would have you meet your new traveling companions. So yeah, I'm going to guess Lucia, Fordola, Ugiri. Probably another 1 or 2 people, right? The other members of the Ilsebard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, settle in a little bit here. And there's the gatekeep. The remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsebard contingent await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
By the 12.
Was Lise actually going?
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
Oh, well, you couldn't wait?
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the
Oh. Oh, shit.
Indeed, which
Oh,
is
the
why
Ilsvar
I'm glad
contingent.
to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades.
All right.
Yourselves included.
Nailed that one.
Lucia. I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
So I think I noticed a couple of them. Yeah. So Alberic from the Dragoon quests. That's cool that they're working some of them in.
Might I ask you to speak first?
It's one of the Sennas, right? Arun Senna, right?
If I must,
Yep.
I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We
How
shall
can he
provide
see?
support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
That's cool that they worked that in since they have red mage or white mage up.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten.
And he, on the bottom left, is from the Scholar quest line.
Anyway, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we.
So they're sending Lise,
The
actually.
most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest.
Pippin, of course. So the guy on the left must be from the Black Mage quest line. Unfortunately, yes. I like Lise.
If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
That's funny.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies.
Lisa the babies form the daycare squad.
The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require.
Okay, so she's in charge.
The four high
Hi,
houses,
Titan.
House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa.
And then Alberic. My man.
There is another awaiting introduction.
Oh, no! 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 Why?
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Emmanellain de Forton, at your service.
He's definitely gonna get killed. Like, definitely gonna get killed.
Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away.
Well, no
Rather,
shit.
Far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that.
Oh, this guy.
But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I
Oh
will be
my
your
God.
twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Oh my god. Hi, Titan. Yeah, the wait was much better. Only 18 people in the queue this morning, so mornings are good. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom. There is only one gentleman of light, and you are not it. That is very sure.
I cannot wait to regale Honohua with my tales of daring do.
Oh my cripes.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea.
I wondered if he was going to get forced along. I truly did
Allies
wonder.
from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
If you somehow live through this, I'll allow it. I don't know. It thought you were telling me that you were going to kill me. It added the permitted term, I will kill you. Oh, apparently. Yes, if somehow you live through this campaign, I will kill you myself, Emmanellain. The Shinobi of
Actually,
Doma.
they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Yeah, I know. So, the first thing that came into my mind of equally capable warriors was that he was going to send those 4 kids the what do they call themselves? They're like the Doman Adventurers League or something like that. Only hurt me emotionally. Well, thank you for that.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Oh! Okay, I did not expect that. Nice. Oh! Sun and
Forgive us
Moon,
for coming late.
united.
We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
Magni.
For battle and blood we come, as a step is sorely lacking in both.
No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group.
Nice.
Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance.
Bunny girls are just there for morale support. Yep.
Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy.
That's true.
But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Doma.
Titan, Lys reminds you of Luna Freya? A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that from Final Fantasy 15. And you love the bunny girls, Baby Spell, they're basically part of the USO show. Well, if they're dancers, I mean, they can do both. It works. Fight on the field and then, dance afterwards.
So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlond Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However,
a lot of airships.
Attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers.
Magna Glacius, okay.
From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us. So it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed.
Although they
Spare
technically
no
are
effort
your
in
people.
Preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Realistically, Baby Smell, you don't think an army comprised of disparate peoples would be the greatest idea? Also, if we were actually fighting Garleans and not just zombies, that would have been even worse, having Garleans in our ranks. Well, yeah, because if you... Easy to get distracted, or to get them mistaken, right? You have to put them in, like, very specific uniforms. Yeah, so... Well, this guy. Is this guy from the Black Mage? Oh, because people are tribal by nature? Well, yeah, I guess there's some truth to that, too. Is this guy from, like, the Black Mage storyline? Does anybody know? Because he popped up at the end of Stormblood, and I was trying to figure out who the heck he was. And then you... Well, if I'd known what a social gathering this would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Serena and Sadu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe. Think they're part of the Thaumaturge questline? Okay. I cast my lot with the Populares to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But were we disparaged as a radical element, dissenters looking to destabilize the Empire from within? Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality. You don't remember anything at all about the Black Mage questline? Probably because you just skipped it all? Aw, you can't skip it. I mean, you can skip it, but... It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I'd say we're overdue for another adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together. Good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be mostly the latter, but I'd like to believe we'll look back on these days more fondly in the years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, aye? Often has Father told me of the struggles faced by Alamigo in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, Her Grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabard contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. Until the Empire fell, Garleans were the only ones we was allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. Weren't as easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty gill. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I returned the favor and gave a little something back. I don't know why I turned to like a southern accent with him. Definitely wasn't, and that was a bad southern accent. I can and I did, and I would do it again too. Pippin goo goo gaga Phil's diaper. Greetings, Callista. It appears that both Thu and Thought are needed here, and who embodies both as well as I. So for the time being, my research into ancient Nim must wait. Yeah, so he's one of our companions through the Scholar questline. With so many people from so many places, I'm rather out of my element. Regardless, I'm a seed seer, and will endeavor to acquit myself accordingly. And then we have Sanson and Gaidalo from the Bard questline. Our prowess has finally been recognized by the Order of the Twin Adder. Naturally, Gaidalo is also here helping us. Whilst his ability as a bard is unmatched, I do worry about his judgment. However, you need not. I shall be keeping a close eye on him, I promise. I can't lie to you, Callista. I wasn't entirely for this whole thing when Sanson spoke to me, but if it means being your brother-in-arms, then who am I to pettifog? I shouldn't be so hard on him, I suppose. This bard unit is quite impressive, really. Yes, one must give credit where credit is due. Rather uncouth for one to do otherwise, after all. I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you may have. Am I finishing the expansion already? Oh no, we're well away from it. It seems like it because it's like all these people coming together, but no. Alberic, you dog! Let me have a look at you. A touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a temple knight serving with your fine van. Though I may not look it, I was the Azure Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured I will give it all that I have in the coming fight. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Astinian. I love it. No, we're well away from it yet. I've close ties with the Scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies o'er our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances who, in time, shall we come to call our comrades, and mayhap friends. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me red magic amongst our numbers, but he's nowhere to be seen. I was kind of hoping that too. I suppose he's had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's some other... Oh! Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my swordplay's improved since we last met. You'll be lurking to avoid cutscenes? Yep, completely understandable, Martha. We've been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers. But for some reason, this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I did not expect to see the other former Azure Dragoon here, of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for verbose greetings. We shall instead let our lances do the talking once we are on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the other has been diligent in his training. Well, he trained me. I can't remember. I know there was a scene at, like, level 35 in Dragoon where you meet Astinian for the first time as part of the job quest. With Alberic. I thought, anyway. This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed. I am certain of it. Magni. With the Maul, champions of the Nadam, and the Dotharl having sent so many here, I had thought to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my step-brothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them unto victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Dotharli dog. As first among my brothers, I could do no less than accept this challenge. My deeds will become the stuff of legends. Sadu, I care not for the Iron Men or their troubles. It is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the steppes oafish men could dream to be. I am glad to see you well, Callista. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer, and as they danced the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos she spied blackened silhouettes, and knew at once that one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. So that's us going to be facing off with Xenos, I'm guessing. Once again, we find ourselves fighting on the same side. First Bosia, now Garlemald. It may seem strange I'd agree to aid the Imperials after waging war against them for so long, but here I am. It's time we put the past behind us. Alright, that is the whole crew. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will jump back in and make our first steps into Ilsabard, I would guess. Alright, we are back. Alright, let's talk to Y'shtola and let's get moving. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Oh. So I have to talk to everybody again anyway? Warding scales for the Ishgari delegation, I take it? Just one, so you gotta give it to only one person. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald. Sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. That a set of warding scales I spy? Not that I would know what they'd look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with ether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, these will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me the chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. Alright, Sickard. I hear you've got something for us. Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gill or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Einzar instead? Buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfear told me was they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land in the middle of a sodden snow of the sodden snow of all places. Well, me and my crew'll do whatever we needs to. So let's set sail, or however the saying goes on airships. Yes? So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. Under normal circumstances, I would not be allowed to travel outside the Twelveswood. The Elder Seedseer, however, has granted me special permission. She has bid me lend my magics to the people of Garlemald while learning all I can of their ways. In so doing, I will come closer to understanding myself and my place in the world, or so she says. I say it is past time our allies benefited from the power at a Seedseer's disposal. Some bemoan that we hide our light under a bushel, and I intend to address that criticism. We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Here's another preparation. Oh, the talismans. We are to keep these close at all times, yes? I will see that no one misplaces theirs. Ah, and before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands in time of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Authard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hien and Yugiri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid we keep them enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Maxima! Do you have a warding scale for me too? Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice if I may. You have been told by many to wear the cold of Ilsebard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamegan Quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. Alright. Quite the crew we've got. No Fordola, that was surprising to me. I'm guessing we're going to bump into her there, though. I'm also going to hazard a guess that Alfredo will want to meet with Arenvald before we leave, I'm going to guess. Since my revival, I've been lax in expanding my limited wardrobe. Think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Charlian? I recall a rather fetching coat. That's a long ways, dude. Preparations? I've got my armor and my lance. What more could I need? If you've anything you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like these. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. Orianger, what do you have to say? Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Uldan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. 'Tis said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist Guild hath produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, though they not be put to shame. It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present guard may be lacking, fur collar notwithstanding. Alright, Elfino. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about Urianger and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, and since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with stock. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark! Is that the cry of the Scions in need of a tailor, I hear? Ah ha ha ha! Tataru. Alright, have a good one, Titan. Thanks for stopping by. Good seeing you again. But Tau... Wahahaha! I have my ways. Oh, yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me? Ha! Nothing escapes my notice. I mean, as if we couldn't tell it was Tataru until then, right? Now, you will wear these garments I've made for you whether you like it or not. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need the new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? Yeah, Estinian is from Ishgard. He's accustomed to cold climates, and his previous armor was more exposed. That is true. Could have been Xenos. That is true. Yeah. They're both equally thick, right? With 2 C's, as the internet likes to say. What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Ergmus and Bromwida have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. Never heard of them. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Sharlayan? Oh, why not? You can keep Cryo company in the Baldesian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I heard Ergmus and Bromwida did a fine job carrying on our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, well, I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world. If anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Sharlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Yeah! Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. North Sea coat. Oh, okay, so we're supposed to glamour this and then put it on? Too bad there's not a glamour chest here, right? Oh, it's gonna be here. We should just equip it. We don't need all the armor we have, right? That's not too bad of a drop-off. What if I do put that on? What does my item level drop to? Only 470. That's not that bad, really. A frosty reception. Tataru is desperately trying to retain her composure as she prepares to see you off on another perilous journey. I'm told the airship pilot has been sent to meet you. Speaking of glamour chests, hot tub stream when? Never. Hey, Jim, good morning. You put it on instead of your normal armor. Ah, there he is. Alright, this is where we go our separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? I thought she was talking to that player that walked up. Oh, there he is. I modeled your clothing on what Elfino and I wore when we journeyed from Lord Horshafont's falling snows to Ishgard for the first time. In those days, I barely knew one end of a sewing needle from the other, and as you've always had very individual taste, I let you pick your own outfit. I'd like to think my skills have improved since then, but do you know what's more important than skill? Heart and soul. There's plenty to be found in each and every one of my works. Oh, he's behind us, okay. It's an honor to finally meet you. We of the Garlemald Ironworks will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable Imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. All resources are at your disposal, and if there is aught we might do to be of further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. If you are ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Upon boarding the airship, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. In addition, you will be required to participate in battle. Your progress will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Okay. Please note that if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, this progress will be lost. Alright. Let's jump to it. I hope I have sufficient time. Finally, the clouds are going to be raised over parts of this.
Ilsabad, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly? On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius, the winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
Ha! Frickin' Emmanellain.
We've received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They have sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials.
Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps?
Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they are led by Vergilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
That's a new helmet design.
From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus' death.
Hey, Roman 8-Bit, how's it going today? Thanks for the stretch. Ugh.
The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
So, what's the plan? If me and my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald, the very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
Sunlight coming in from the window, making stretching appropriate. Gotcha. You're doing good, chilling? Good, good, good.
How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred had something to suggest?
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of materiel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into two groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies. As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
Holding me in your back pocket. So does this game actually have a storyline? You stayed away from 11 and 14 because you thought they were just like any other online MMOs? Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV has a very extensive storyline. That just grows and grows as the expansions have come out. Shadowbringers was probably one of my favorite Final Fantasy stories, period. Yeah, they do a really good job with story in this game. It's like, it's a very story-based MMO. Yes, definitely. 100%.
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
Y'shtola always did have a flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right, once more for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely.
Interesting. So they're using, like, the Magitech as, like, explosive drones, basically. Hold up the encyclopedias. So yeah, so these... no, so it's its own world. It's not based on Ivalice. Though some of the characters... So basically, chunks of the game are based off of various different Final Fantasies. There's kind of tie-ins to all of them at different points. So, like, the Magitech designs are based off of Final Fantasy VI. But yeah, so these are the Encyclopedias Eorzea. So this is Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is all, like, the background lore for the world of Final Fantasy XIV in the 11 years that it's been around. But yeah, so, like, they take bits and pieces from a lot of the different Final Fantasies. Like, the raids and stuff will be based on different things from different ones. So the most recent raid series was, like, kind of a tie-in to Final Fantasy VIII. It has, like, the Crystal Tower plays a pretty big role throughout from Final Fantasy III. And then, yeah, so they had a whole series that was tied into Ivalice, so Final Fantasy Tactics and 12. that has some characters from 12 and Tactics in it, or like representations of them anyway. So yeah, they do a lot with story in this game. That also scares you. Getting sucked into that world can turn into a hobby. I mean, I've put in 60 days worth of game time. Granted, that's over 4 years. And it's definitely the most I've played a game ever.
Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand.
But yeah, and it's a completely free trial that you can do up to level 60 through the beginning of the story and then the first expansion. Now, granted, now might not be the best time to jump in because the servers are heavily populated at the time because of the new expansion coming out on Tuesday. This is early access right now for it, but queue times have been crazy. So it might not be the greatest time to jump in if you were going to play the free trial. So the signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. Okay, so they're going to deactivate a bunch of the enemy units, too.
A blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the lone wolf?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck.
Roman, when you first played Civ 5, you put in 500 hours. Ever since, you've been picking MMOs and strategy type games. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, games these days in general are built to be a little bit more time consuming, right? Because they want to give you content to keep you sucked in. And there is tons of content in this game. Like, I haven't done everything in the game, even with playing as much as I have. There's some people that definitely have, but... And yeah, this most recent expansion, Endwalker... Oh, we could play as Thancred here, huh? It is all about keeping your attention. Civ is a brutal time sink. Love it, but so much time. Assuming there is nothing else you wish to confirm, we may commence the mission as soon as you are ready. In the coming battle, you will fight as Thancred. You have two objectives. Place explosives on the Imperial Magitech. Deactivate the frontline Magitech units via the control terminal. If the guards detect and pursue you, enemy forces will become more aware of the threat you pose, as indicated by the threat awareness gauge. This is like Metal Gear. Metal Gear Thancred. The gauge will gradually fill until you defeat all alerted enemies. If the gauge is completely filled, the guards will call for reinforcements and the mission will end in failure. Use swift deception to avoid detection as you go about completing your objectives. Mission exclusive actions. Success in this mission hinges on the following points. Swift deception renders Thancred invisible and increases his movement speed, okay? While active, enemy soldiers and Magitech will be unable to perceive Thancred's presence, even if they are within close proximity. However, it has no effect on the guard dog's acute sense of smell, and they will be able to detect Thancred regardless. Moreover, this action can only be used outside of combat. It will also be unavailable when Thancred attempts to deactivate Magitech fields or execute certain other actions. Thancred's silent takedown will instantly render a soldier unconscious. It can only be used while swift deception is in effect. Is he like Spider-Manning on top of him? Though it cannot be used on Magitech or guard dogs, utilizing silent takedown whenever possible is essential in clearing a path to your objectives. As guard dogs can detect Thancred even when Swift Deception is active, you can instead use a bewilderment bomb to distract them and sneak past unnoticed. Conversely, bewilderment bombs will have no effect on Magitech or soldiers, so take care to choose the right tool for the situation. Interesting, okay. FF14 isn't as bad as WoW about making time-consuming systems. They respect your time for the most part. That is true. And really, like, there isn't that much that you have to engage in on a daily basis, right? They have dailies, but you don't have to do them. Before we jump into all of this, I'm going to take a very quick break. Hopefully it doesn't take us more than 55 minutes to finish this duty, but we'll be right back. Okay, we are back here. You picked up Civ 6, but didn't put nearly as much time in. Think you only finished one game of it, Jim? Roman, you still play it from time to time? Skipped right over Civ 6. Got it. Roman, you tried WoW back in 2008 for a week. Seen where the ship was heading, so quit the game right away. Yeah, it's, I mean, there's some similarities to, because they took a lot when they had to fix Final Fantasy XIV. They took a lot of inspiration from some of the systems in WoW. But that was just because of how archaic FF14 originally was, which was based off of 11 pretty heavily.
Keep your wits about you. It's time. We only have one shot at this, so let's make it count.
Okay, so Swift Deception. Okay, that's what they're talking about. 2 on the gate could get messy. Oh shit, that does not last long. Okay. Alright, we gotta let that thing move away. Oh shit, that was the wrong button. Silent takedown, there we go. So we just avoid it, or do we have to... We could probably just avoid it. I'll be going until about 11:30 probably. Time he took a nap. Oh, we gotta use the controls to deactivate it. Now to set the explosives, and quietly. I try to stream during the day on the weekends sometimes. Alright. And especially now, given how busy the servers are at night, it's easier to stream during the day here. So are these slashers? Are these what are considered the dogs?
Must be losing my touch.
Hurry up, hurry up! Okay, so far so good. Ooh. What do we got going on over there? Oh, is that one of the dogs? Oh, it is. So far we're winning. This is probably very spoilery, Martha. So we got 2 guys over there. Just a peek and go. Got it. Bewilderment bomb. How long does it last? Oh, it just disappeared. Okay, we'll take that. Yeah, take care. Oh, that's a dog. Oh, there's another dog right there. Or not dog, Magitech. Okay, so we gotta wait a moment for that to move back over, I think. Yeah, the slashers, I kept calling them dogs, but they're not dogs, I know that. That should do the trick. Now to hide and send word. Find a place to hide. Okay. Doing better than you did? You pulled a mech at the very start? Yeah, that one at the start, I was a little worried about. Do I have to go back to the start, I'm guessing? And I think it disappeared once I opened the gate. No, I must have to find a spot to hide inside. Go back to where I last was. Oh no, we're gonna get seen, I think. Oh, we lucked out. Oh, here we go. Hiding place.
This is Thancred. The explosives are in place.
Very good. All is proceeding as planned. Head to the control tower. It should be to the northwest.
Understood. Have the others wait at the rendezvous point.
So we have to... Oh, here we go. Field controls. I don't know if we're going to be able to get around that slasher. But once I deactivate it, so I just got to go once it turns, I think. Okay. Oh no, it stayed there. shit. Oh, I didn't notice that slasher was there. Okay. So another one of those is going to come around the corner probably. Yep. Let's try going back the other way here. Okay. What is going to be the best way to handle this corner? So basically, we need to throw a bewildering bomb and then stealth and get that guy once this guy goes. Ooh.
Seven hells.
Alright, pull you over here out of the way. No. Okay. Okay, so the one slasher is over there now. So I think we got to do this guy and then back off. This could be rough. Okay. Alright, now get in here. Find a spot to hunker down. Uh-oh, this is bad. Okay. So we have to get to that then. Oh, does he step outside? Okay, we're good. So at what point can we do it right now? Come on, come on, come on, come on! Okay, so we disabled the magic tech. Now just withdraw. Okay, hey, that went well. Couple of touchy spots here or there, but...
You are returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
What news from our comrades?
They stand at the ready.
It got up to like 27 at one point.
Excellent.
Maybe 29.
Then let the fireworks begin.
There we go. So that's somebody else's sign to do their thing now, I'm guessing. A few moments later, at the rear of the Ilsabard contingent supply caravan. Supplyity.
The blizzard's beginning to clear. The Vanguard should be engaging the Imperials any moment now, if they haven't already. Ishtola and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be all right, but...
Uh-oh.
Wait! Something's coming!
Oh, wow.
Oi, oi! Looks like we ain't the only ones who sent out scouts. Keep them away from the carriages! We lose those, and we're as good as dead!
Nice music. Alright, let's see here. Alright, if I get to fight as myself again here. Let's do some Dragoon things.
Fighters! Protect the others!
Okay. That all of them for now?
But stay alert.
Okay. We're doing alright so far. Nobody's taking a ton of damage. Of course. Emmaleine's troops would be struggling.
Fear not, friends! The savior of Ishtar is here!
Jesus Christ. Oh, that guy. Okay.
Display, but the other carriages are still in danger. Go on ahead. We'll hold the line.
There we go.
We put our backs into it then!
Oh, there we go.
I've been itching for a good scrap.
Oh, back this way. That big bastard's going straight for something. Straight for the carriages. Shit. Oh, is it? Am I supposed to be up? I'm supposed to be up here. Whoops. I thought I was supposed to go back. Okay.
You lot all right back there? We're fine. I'm ready for more.
Nice. Something else coming?
Get to the front and turn the tide.
Head north and join the Vanguard. Okay. Meanwhile, on the front line... Alberic.
Removed from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
It's nothing that won't heal in time. The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
Well, this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that we all agreed to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet still you pledged your lance, did you not?
That I did.
Ooh. Alright, Magni. Let's see your worth here.
That's for Gilia. Damn it. I need to help the others take her down.
Alright, we're gonna be Lise, I think, huh?
There's no end to them.
Oh, no, we're gonna be us.
I was wondering when you'd turn up. There's no stopping us now. Come on. Let's show them what we're made of.
Nice. I'm trying to think if I can't remember if we ever fought alongside Lucia at all.
We have them now. Forward.
The supply caravan is safe for the time being, and Thancred's team have thrown the enemy into disarray. Oh shit, there's some more.
Let them have it!
Oh shit.
As a
Wrong
raging
button.
bull!
more behind!
Okay, there she is. That's weird.
Everyone alright?
Okay. Oh, get out of that. Just barely? Nope. Not quite.
Or die!
There she's back. Everybody's still doing alright HP-wise, which is good.
Tremble before the sun!
Holy jeez. Nice. Hey, that's the first time we weren't on the other end of her nuking attack there. Well done, Sadhu. That was a cool sequence to go through. Yeah, that was all just NPCs. So that was like a solo duty, basically, is what they call it. So then there's usually scenarios that you have to accomplish within them, and they'll branch here or there. They do it a lot in like your job quests to accomplish them, and then a lot in the main scenario too.
A worthy adversary. Rest, recover, reclaim yourself. Then we will fight again, to the death.
Sadu Hatun.
Ha!
That was the last of them. The day is ours, thanks to your timely arrival. What of the supply caravan?
Should be coming.
Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And soon we shall arrive at the capital.
Yeah, so all the green ones there were different NPCs that were in the battle. Which, that was a lot compared to
so cold and
how many of them
unforgiving. Thus spoke Emperor Solus as he gazed upon his barren domain. "800 years it had been since the Garleans first set foot here. Bested by the Kavosi after centuries of war and driven from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated. The chosen forsaken. In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era, a young legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution.
AKA you, Emmett.
How did he conceive the machina that feed on ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks? Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed, bitterly so.
Garlemald. It looks like it's in rough shape.
Not so much as a whisper.
The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital.
A buzz day and night with activity, aye. Merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries.
Surely they cannot all have been tempered.
We can consider the question after we have made camp. If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand. The tempered Imperials, too.
This will be our temporary base of operations. Secure shelter for ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding area.
If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name.
Well, the constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone!
Alright, time to attune to the Aetherites. Okay, yeah, there you go. Camp Broken Glass. Walking on broken, walking on broken glass. Camp Annie Lennox. That's where we're at. Okay. Barthélemy. We must remain as mobile as we are able in such temperatures as these. I fear that if we stand still for too long, the ice and snow may freeze our very bones. Greetings, Serpent Captain Tobu. If you wish to know aught of the current situation, you've come to the right person. The name's Roshilda of the Alamegan Resistance. When I was offered a place in the Ilsabar contingent, I leapt at the opportunity. If you're wondering why I'd be so eager to aid the people of Garlemald, the reason is simple. Like the rest of Girabanya, my hometown, a waypoint oft used by travelers, was under occupation. Times were hard, but they could have been a lot worse if not for one particular Imperial. Although his fellow soldiers were quick to dish out a beating, he stood up for the townspeople, without regard for his own reputation and safety. Thanks to him, my family made it to the end of the war more or less unscathed, and this is my way of returning the favor. This camp takes its name from the ice covering the ground that cracks whenever you step on it, much like breaking glass. To think that the Garleans made their home in this blasted wasteland all those years ago, and not only live, but thrive, it's given me a newfound appreciation for their hardiness and determination to survive against the odds. June. It's not only the tempered that need care. A fair few of our own were wounded in the Magna Glacius. If only we had needed to defend the supply caravan, a lot more of us could have joined the front line. Hey, Graha. Our comrades certainly haven't wasted any time establishing a base of operations. Hawisia. Between guarding our supplies and keeping an eye on the tempered as they undergo treatment, we're certainly kept busy. Ambagai. Gods, this place is cold. We have our share of chilly nights on the steppe, but I've never experienced anything like this before. Esdalo. I'm the quartermaster here. It's my job to make sure the camp remains both well supplied and well maintained. Cha-cha. We have come too far, risked too much to worry solely about our own hides, for there is so much more at stake. Can we go in here? Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, we gotta kill something here. Ovibos. What is the name of the thing that we need to hunt? An Eblin ice trap. Okay. Regio Domorum. Oh, okay. So that's going to be over that way. Alright, head back into town quick. Makago no Kago. We finally managed to set up camp after marching through all that snow. I hope that whoever lived here doesn't mind us using the buildings for shelter. Yeah, I don't think they're around. Serena. Virgilia is in our care, along with the rest of the Tempered. Glory to Garlemald, glory to Garlemald, they still whisper in their sleep, even as they writhe in pain. Raban taught me a lot about military strategy during exercises in the fringes. Coordinating units with wildly different capabilities, surveying and securing hostile terrain, that sort of thing. Now I have the chance to put his teachings into practice. Pippin. We've asked the Ironworks members and some of our other comrades to stay with the airships. In the event we are discovered, we must be ready to move them swiftly to a safer location. Maxima? Or Lucia first. Once everything is in place, we will discuss our next move. This is all that remains of Laterum. Homes become empty husks. If this is the state of the outlying villages, I dread to think what has become of the capital. The Tempered soldiers are sleeping soundly while they undergo treatment. There are too many to attend at once, but I and the other healers will see to all eventually. Hell's bells, this place is bloody freezing. Rather be tied to the topmast in a storm than suffer this cold any longer. Anyone what can spare a swig of rum, that'll sort me right out. Your kids are really sleeping in today? You could have been playing? Well, that's too bad. Because the moment you start something now, that's the moment they wake up, right? You're like stuck in that weird middle ground that you can't do much. Alright, let's go over and chill with Elfino and Alice. I'm going to take another quick break and we'll be back and we'll see what the twins have to say. Uno momento. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. It took a moment to make another cup of coffee, and so that took a little bit of time. And got some yogurt in me, too. Nice morning snack with some granola. So let's see what the twins have to say. Shouldn't be long before we have a half-decent camp with so many helping hands. I was concerned the snow might hinder our progress, but Ishgardian friends are used to working in conditions like these. In spite of the obstacles we've faced, our plan proceeds apace. Just a little farther and we'll reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss a course of action with Lucia. Would you mind asking Y'shtola and Graha to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp? Alice and I will meet you there. Right. So Y'shtola's down over here, it looks like. She's probably going to follow along with us. A meeting? Yes, I'll make my way over once my head has cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts since we arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. 'Tis the monstrous tower on the horizon. Jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Ether flows unceasingly towards it, converging into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. I was going to say, Graha was up over here. You will be pleased to know most of the Tempered have been quartered inside the nearby buildings and are receiving treatment as we speak. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilian homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that has certainly clearly passed since, one would expect to find them ransacked. Strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, though it seems to me they left far too many useful possessions behind. Although there is no conclusive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting. I will make my way there. Level 82 Sage. This person has been hard at work, too. Talon. Many of us took quite a beating on the Magna Glacius, but we all helped each other hobble through the snow and wind, sparing nary a thought for which delegation we each belonged to. From now, we're all firm comrades through thick and thin. That's good, see? A little bit of combat does everybody a bit of good. Minuki. We Domans owe our freedom to our Eorzean allies, and I was one of many to volunteer for this endeavor. We will be glad to lend our assistance wherever it is needed. 'Tis good to know, good sir. Bum bum bum. There we go. Thank you for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone is here, we will begin. Cutscene!
Our present situation is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city, for therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroid's designs.
I have a suggestion, if I may.
No, someone else.
Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glaciers are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine. Once we have cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers and their ministrations. Of course, I will require a proxy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Would you like a hand?
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twill be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
This talk of curing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern. All the houses round here are fitted with ceruleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is, the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next. My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Understood. The machinist will assist them in the repairs.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
We've made our presence known to the Telothroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmascian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace. How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
Twould be my honor to be of service. Though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
That leaves us with guard duty.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino. Between here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rhine. I would have you search the area for survivors. Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields.
And I know where my ether compass is now, so... If there are any survivors, we will surely find them. Extensive travels is something of an understatement, but I suppose if there's nothing else it needs doing. Ice fields? I love ice fields. Oh wait, no I don't. Let's be funny.
As ever, you do not want for enthusiasm. But given your experience traipsing about through Kurthus, I should be surprised if you let a little inclement weather dampen your redoubtable spirits. And even if that were the case, the promise of hot soup upon your return would surely spur you to action. You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
I mean, who doesn't like hot soup, right? It warms the soul, they say. All right. Which reminds me, I should see if there's any ether currents near us. There's this odd perception that Ishgardians have lived their whole lives in the snow, but it really wasn't that bad before the calamity. And afterwards, well, I was rarely more than a few paces from a raging fire. This dreadful place, on the other hand, is nothing but cold, cold, cold. And it's my understanding that Ilsabad has always been this way. Gods, can you imagine? I've never thought myself much of an explorer, though I suppose my adventures have taken me to all sorts of strange and distant places. With that in mind, traversing an ice field should be a simple feat. Gods be good, if it's this cold with Tataru's clothing, I dread to think how we'd fare without it. I must remember to thank her when next we meet. It makes me realize, too, that while the people of Garlemald have spent their whole lives in conditions like these, even they'd be hard-pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them, and quickly. So he's going with us? Oh, no. So, it's into the Eblan Rhine we go. But where do we even start looking in such a place? Emmanellain is, as usual, milling about aimlessly. What ho, chums? Being given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Sounds like a rather tall order. Since you ask, we're to scout the Emmanellain Rime for survivors. What? Wander around ice fields on the off chance you'll find someone? You'd take forever to finish a job without the benefit of my expertise, or more specifically, my telescope. Come, friends, I know just the spot to begin our search. Is he actually going to be useful? There's no way he's actually going to be useful. I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. Maybe he's just going to die right quick. 167 yalms to the east. That ain't far. I really didn't need to heal. That's right. Hopefully I don't need it before my cooldown is done. Seven yalms to the southeast. Oh, there it is. I see it. It came from the heavens! Northeast. That might be the direction we're heading in. I discovered a new location. Is this going to be too steep to go up? Nope, we're good. Just barely, but we're good. The few buildings I can see don't appear to be residences. They may still warrant investigation, though. I'm surprised by how many wild beasts there are roaming about the place. Perhaps now that the soldiers have gone, they're free to wander and forage as they please. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing. Or maybe it's a cow? Not what we're after. Not what we're after either way. Is that an ether current? No, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But lo! What do I see o'er that yon hillock? There's no mistaking it. That's a girl. A survivor, show me. Over there behind that tree. It looks like she's running away from something. Though surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress, a rather fetching one at that. She'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. Gotta use our Witcher sense. I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. Oh, and take these warming tinctures with you. Boink. The poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. That's actually very thoughtful, thank you. But won't you need some for yourself? No, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honor demands I do no less. And lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed! Actually being useful. That's not going to last long. Why are you still here? If you dally any longer, you will miss your chance to play the hero. Alright, time to check out the footprints in the snow. A trail of fresh footprints lead east. These footprints appear to be the same as those you saw previously, and they lead towards the building. Alright. Elfino, Alice, what's happening up here? According to the label here, this place was used by those involved with extracting ceruleum. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first, we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around here. Then again, it's also possible that she ran right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? Methinks we'll have a cutscene. It's just a wild guess. No way of really knowing. The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. Were you to call out to her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It would be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. Follow the girl from a safe distance. The objective will end in failure if you are noticed. Make use of cover, such as rocks, to approach her without being seen. Similarly, the objective will also end in failure if you fall too far behind. Should you fail to complete the objective, you may try again by returning to the designated location. Pant. She's got like a cone of vision on her. So far, so good. Why do they keep making these? It's just something to mix it up, I'm guessing, is the idea. It's even more awkward given the fact that there's other people doing the same thing but are like steps ahead of me. I guess it makes it easier to is someone there? Whoop. Ah, they're gonna see you! I must be imagining things. Better catch my breath. Oh, someone is getting attacked. That is quite the monstrosity. I hope my luck holds. Overgrown rose. Got to keep going. Just a little farther. Hey, Ox. How's it going this morning? This is it, the final spurt. Look thirsty? I'm doing alright, actually. Doing a pretty good job of keeping myself hydrated. Alright. There, we completed it. Phew, still in one piece. Approach the girl in green. Yeah, have you been getting sleep with the little one? Finish off my coffee, although that's like the opposite of hydrating, but wets the whistle, as they say. Not really, but caffeine helps. Yes, it does. I bet it does. Thank you for the redeems. Alright, let's see what's up with this gal. Huff, puff, huff, puff. Ah! Who are you? Stay back. This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Jeez. Please, we just want to talk. I'm Elfino. This is my sister Alice and our good friend Callista. We have no intention of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the ones responsible for all of this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of the other reasons we came to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telephoroi are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they're destroyed. They've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy. Our enemy. On our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who had been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we've met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape the Telephoroi's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name's Licinia. As for how I've managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question ever since that night, and the roar. That terrible roar, and then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran past friends, people I'd known all my life. Eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. To here? Do you have family here? Is this their home? No, this is Victor's Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was, but now me and a few others are, borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. I just wanted to keep everyone safe, and I didn't know if you were... The truth is, our supplies are running low. You said you're here to help, can you? Of course. Whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. This is everyone. Lacinia says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be fools to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with means of heating the place, as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Elise? We'll have a fire burning in no time. May we build it under that gazebo? The what? Oh, you mean the bower? Yes, yes, do as you will. Boop, boop, boop. Huh. So I do wonder why some of them didn't fall under the spell then. Get some pants, get some pants. How the mighty are fallen. Licinia's inner turmoil is writ plain on her face. Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? I guess we'll see. Before the Civil War, I was a student. The others were officials of some sort, I think. Even after all this time together, we hardly know the first thing about each other. What I do know is this, we're Garleans. When times are hard, we stick together no matter what. I can feel my fingers again. Emaciated refugee. All's well. All's well, with food in my belly and a song in my heart. So that's all three of them. Got like a music box going here or something, it sounds like. I can treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Emmanellain's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? So start with this guy. The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Drink this. Warming tincture? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened, it's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, Cerulia Ingens is full of the stuff, For all the good it does us, no one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. Hey, completionist, how's it going? One thing you realize now that we're in December, you can't give me grief for having a Christmas tree in the background. Yes, it's in season now finally. So we're good for like a month. Then after that, then it's like, why have you taken your Christmas tree down? Hope you're doing well. All is well. Yes, never better. Drink this. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison by any chance? Ha ha, 'twas a joke. Ha 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 ha. If I laugh, 'tis what I may not weep, so said the poet. And alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fell. We are the blessed damned to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead, or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the disheveled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for the final judgment. They're going through some shit. The way we could put it. What do you want? A tincture? May as well drink it, I suppose. Okay, yeah, this is a radio that they got going there. Have to explain the same song and dance to every damn person that comes in this stream. Doing good? 16 more days and you can finally fly home? That'll be great for winter break. Work has been busy, which is why I haven't seen you in a while. Actually working today, but stuck at home until you get a call to go in. Work has been delayed because it's currently negative 28 right now. Yeah. I was going to say, I figured it was probably pretty cold up there. Yeah, it's not too bad, though. It's always fun to explain the tree. It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it? We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components crafted with the finest ore. Sourced from Locus Amanus, it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music, being played over and over again. Well, that's just like the radio now. Garlemald, a.k.a. America in 5 years? Yeah, it could be. Home beyond the horizon. An ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Amanus. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hoped to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. I saw him get killed, so sorry. Well, not me, but me as a person. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Is all my Christmas shopping done, or am I fighting the crowds to do everything last minute? So, my family, because my parents are retired and they go down to Florida for the winter, And so we always do our Christmas over Thanksgiving. So, yes, my Christmas shopping is done and dusted, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I am in good shape that way. There's Alice, eh? Whoops. What they need most is a decent meal. We've food back at the camp, but there's the distance to consider. Alright. Give her the warming tincture now. Then why do I still have the Christmas tree up? Nice, Jim, nice. What's that? Just drink it. Everything will be fine. So this is what you gave the others. Thank you, I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus Virgilis troops heading towards the Magna Glacius a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgilia and her men are all there now. How did you reach the Magna Glacius? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Flew via airship. Airships? Then there might be a way to... Cinia, where is everyone? Is something the matter? So there's someone else inside. A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasty has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people, too. I've just an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat the Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. They wouldn't, but don't call me Shirley. If you've a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there. Oh, okay, tappers. That's probably what they mean. Yes, tappers living there. People whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. If it's ceruleum you need, then ceruleum you should have. Thank you so much. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. It's actually a good way of doing it, yeah. Yeah, stereotypical retired parents going down to Florida to escape the cold weather. It's accurate practical thinking, but so stereotypical, yeah. Yeah, at first, when they first had both retired, they jumped in an RV and started driving south and got to northern Florida. It was still too cold for them. Went a little bit farther down, still too cold, and they ended up in Fort Myers, and that's where it's decent enough through the winter, they say, so... I'm not sure what else tappers might need beside provisions, though I dare say that capable fighters like yourself can offer them other forms of compensation. Culling dangerous beasts, that sort of thing. Alright, so we have to head down in that direction. Ooh, we have a fate that we could do, though it's going to be gone by then. Hey, that's a fitting mount to have right now. The expressway's been destroyed. No. Oh no, that's pipes. It's not an expressway. No, that's gonna be. By the time we get in there, it's gonna be over. I think. Yep. It's about what I expected. One hit, one kill. There we go. Efficient, that's me. Hey, sold some stuff, that's good. Ilsabardian Tursus. I was gonna say, that looks like an entrance right there. Got ourselves a burly tapper here. Who goes there? How did you find us? Ah, the chick over there told us about you. What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor's Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes thought they could come waltzing in here demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, Sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another think coming. I didn't want to have to fight you, but it's gonna happen. And it's not gonna go well for you, dude. I'll tell you that right now. There's mine. There you are. Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up with you, in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Who are you? What's happened to the guards? We killed them. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any god's damn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess, none of you are Garlean. You were brought here from other lands. Girabanya, Yanksha, Boja, Dalmasca, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of On, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia Ingens, still sustaining us even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake. But how can you do that if it's frozen over? Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, if it's not ceruleum, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough to power our heaters and save the supply for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrowful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare.
We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here?
Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald as we knew it is gone for good.
It makes sense. Gone for good.
If you're wondering why we'd post guards outside, it's because we've had trouble with other refugees, and I don't mean the ones at Victor's spoils. Some of them come bearing weapons and won't take no for an answer. As for the 2 guards you met on the way in, I'll tell them what we've discussed, once they've recovered from the beating you gave them. Come to think of it, maybe we should ask your contingent to send some bandages and healing balm.
Regardless of what the Ilsabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed by the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people? Their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. The fire we built at Victor's spoils won't last forever, and it's too dangerous for Lysini and the others to search for more kindling. If we can get them some ceruleum, that'll be one last thing for them to worry about. For a time, at least. At the end of the trail, Jarek is amenable to making a deal.
Let's make a deal. So, you've come seeking ceruleum, have you?
Yep.
What? Those purebloods at Victor's spoils sent you? To turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Lysinia's got her little sister to think about.
There you go. A sister, but we only saw Lysinia and 3 men.
It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Lysinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way, you hear?
It's like a finder's fee. I can't for the life of me think why Lysinia would keep her sister a secret from us. She's probably tempered. But we can ask about that after we've delivered this ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back.
I don't know the details, but she mentioned a sister 3 years her junior who's in poor health. That being the case, I thought her people would be willing to cough up some supplies in exchange for ceruleum, but maybe they didn't have anything after all.
They don't really. Aliva. How the bloody hells did you find us here, and who are you?
All art. Come here from across the ice fields, did you? Then we'd better hope you weren't followed by any of them crazed soldiers, or we'd be done for.
Like the others here, I took to living in the caves to get away from the chaos in the city. These days I scrape by on what I can find or by trading ceruleum with the other survivors. Thing is, most of us shouldn't even be here in the first place. We was dragged to Garlemald against our will from the provinces and forced to do hard labor. Then, when everyone else lost their minds, we took our chances and scarpered. Much as I hate to admit it, the skills we learned from extracting and processing ceruleum for the Garleans are what's kept us alive out here. One thing's for certain, though. We can't carry on like this forever. What kind of place is this? You've seen what's happened to the capital, haven't you? We came here to get away from all that, and this is the safest place we could find. We've come to calling it Tapper's Den because we survived by extracting, or tapping as we call it, the ceruleum from the lake. We either burn it to stay warm or trade it for goods with other refugees. Alright, back up to... whatever the place was called. Soldier's Rest? It's not that, but it's something like that. Victor's Spoils, that's what it's called. To the victors go the spoils. I think we're gonna fight this thing. That was quite the spit. Easy. Easy. Right, get up to here, and then we'll take another break for a moment. Boop-a-doop-boop-a-doop. With my prancing pony. Woo! Alright, so we'll be right back in one moment. Alright, we are back here. Go for a few more minutes here, see the end of this quest line and where that leads us here. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Elfino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. What are these guys talking about? Oh, one of the Aetherites you can't attune to, I see. Oh, geez. What's going on back here? Oh, damn it! Damn it all! They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. You can't fool us, we know. We know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, and then in you swoop. Here to help? What a rot! All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal our lands, get your revenge! You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true, Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you! You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them, since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries and theirs. I will join you in the search after. All right. Be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. I will follow as soon as I can. After I've given them some basic treatment, I'll take the men inside the house and use a light sleeping enchantment to help them rest, and ensure that they don't cause any more trouble. I'm sorry, but this is something I must do. Rob us of our lands, rob us of our pride. No, no, I'll not allow it. Better to die free than live in servitude and shame. The girls would say the same. Okay, so out here we go. Bah! Lunar whale ran us over. 2 sets of fresh footprints, young women judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Alright. Split up and look for clues. First, run over to this fate here. A snowball's chance.
Let's see if we can't track these people down. Oh, there's something. Fresh blood. Uh-oh. That's definitely not good. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastwards. Well, speaking of which... 32 yalms to the northwest. Oh, so it's probably up there. Jump! Interesting little patch here. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good at all. The two bodies are already cold. Oh, geez. Well, that's sad.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked.
No, it was self-inflicted, I'm guessing.
No. Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have...
There's nothing you could do, man. We tried.
We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand, so I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right.
I don't think they're going
to
tell you no.
We had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
Alright, well that ended... Well, ended much differently than I thought it was going to at first. Kind of saw it was maybe going in that direction when they attacked Elfino, but... There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? They would have died eventually, I mean... If only we'd had a chance to talk things over. But it's too late now. Too late by far. A way forward. Future Pootgear. Pewter Footgear. Elfino's resolve may be shaken, but he has not forgotten his duty. We have already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do now for now is to make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. A Metal Gear Solid, nice. Alright, back to Camp Broken Glass. Well timed, someone jumping on their mount there quickly. I'm surprised we haven't eaten through all of our resting experience yet. So like the green part of the bar, of the experience bar, is added experience you've built up from like not being in the game, or like it basically is a higher percent earning of experience is how it works. So you get that for the more time you have logged off. And I've been like leveling some things quite a bit recently, and I still haven't eaten through all of it. I would have figured I would have really chewed through it here, with the higher level progress, but not yet anyway. But I think that is probably a good spot for us to call it today. So yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by. It was good to get a few hours in this morning and make a little bit more progress. We have made it to Garlemald, which is I mean, other than like the moon and a couple of other little areas they maybe teased, we've seen kind of some of the we've seen 3 of the regions now. I think a typical expansion has 5 or 6 maps to it, and we've been to 3 of them so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Most likely will not be a stream tonight because I just don't know how long things are going to go today with the things I have going on during the day. But we will be back for sure tomorrow. At 9 a.m. and we'll go for the majority of the day tomorrow and make more progress. I have a feeling if we go like nose to the grindstone with things, we maybe get to like level 84. So like level like 1.5 levels we would get through. And if we get up to like level 84, that would mean I would guess we've probably been to a trial, the first trial that we have in this expansion. And so guessing we'll make that progress tomorrow. Otherwise, yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by. Roman, Ox, thank you for the Hobby Bucks redeems. Otherwise, Jim, Completionist, Baby Smell, Martha, Ox, it was good to hang out and chat with all you, and Roman, and Titan as well. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.